It's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake. If the way is hazy, you gotta do the cooking by the book. You know you can't be lazy, never use a messy recipe. The cake will end up crazy if you do the cooking by the book. Then you'll have a...
Break it down, bitch, let me see you back it up. Drop that ass down, load it, pick that motherfucker up. Break it down, bitch, let me see you back it up. Drop that ass down, load it, pick that motherfucker up. Now back that pussy, she's a motherfucker. Hey, back that pussy, she's a motherfucker. Now back that pussy, she's a motherfucker. Hey, back that pussy, she's a motherfucker.
It's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake.
What?
If the way is hazy, you gotta do the cooking by the book.
What?
You know you can't be lazy, never use a messy recipe.
What?
The cake will end up crazy if you do the cooking by the book. Then you'll have a...
Rub that shit, it's yours, bitch. Grab it, dick, it's yours, bitch. Rub that shit, it's yours, bitch. Grab it, dick, it's yours, bitch. Turn around, bitch. Put that ass on the nigga. Grind on the dick, make it get a little better. Turn around, bitch. Put that ass on the nigga. Grind on the dick, get take out the finger.
You gotta do the cooking by the book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this Red Bull got me hyped up. Yup, I'm going crazy up in the studio. Yo D, pass me some Red Bull.
I got Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup, Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup, yeah. I got Red Bull in my cup.
Yeah, I got my Red Bull in my cup and I'm hyped up. I don't mix the syrup in it, if I did I'd be slowed up. I don't mess with sugar free cause I like the head rush. They call me Stack Stingo cause I'm making your girl blush. Snapbacks, all I wear is snapbacks. All I drink is Red Bull and haters can step back. Top to top, head back, let's finish the cup. Got my red silver cup filled to the top, and that's what's up. You can throw away that monster and that rock stuff too. If you ain't drinking that Red Bull, then you're looking like a fool. I'm colder than a freezer, and I'm hot like the sun. I think I need some more Red Bull to cool off my lungs.
I got Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup.
Like a boss, yeah, I'm trippy, man, I'm drinking so much Red Bull, I think I might go insane. Yeah, I might go insane, I'm tripping on you haters. I got so much Red Bull like Baskin Robbins got flavors. I got work, my Red Bull look like that perp. I'm posted up at Seb's and I mix it with the slurp. I be drinking that Red Bull 24/7. Buy it at the gas station, 7-Eleven. Got my Dre Beats on and I got the Red Bull in my hand. I'm spitting fire on the microphone, you know that I'm the man. Yeah, you heard it right, cause I told you I'm the man. So do yourself a favor and pick up a Red Bull can.
I got Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup. Red Bull in my cup, yeah. Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup. I got Red Bull in my cup, yeah.
Not bad. Hey, if it isn't you guys, what are you doing here? Checking up on me? Stop. One thing I want to go ahead and say is that I definitely appreciate all the love and support you guys are giving on this campaign. My team and I have been working very hard to get this book made so we can get it to your hands after this campaign is funded successfully. Before I get back to the drawing table, one thing I want to go ahead and say is when you go ahead and you back it, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors, your cats, and your damn dogs what this campaign is all about. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, Voyager out.
Mike, Nick, hold tight. Roger that, Dad. All systems go. Tell Mom we'll be home soon for dinner. Godspeed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, liftoff and the clock has started. Yes, sir. Reading it loud and clear.
Houston, we've had a problem.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here. Are you seeing this, Houston? Roger. Data's coming in. Stay on course. Maintain your position. Maintain your position. For God's sake, this can't be real. Dad, do we have any options?
Roger, main be interval.
Voice, fly safe.
That's one small step for man.
Someone says, what's the future? Vaughn Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. People, how you guys doing? I just got back from seeing Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with some friends. Dude, I was blown away. That movie kicked ass. How long was it? It felt pretty long. But like in a way that it's like a lot happened. There were things that like weren't perfect, but I thought it was fantastic. I'm really glad I saw it. I can't believe it's been 6 years since the last one. How long was it? It's pretty long. It was like 2.5 hours. Okay, yeah. No, it definitely felt long, but in a good way. It was. I really enjoyed it. It was a really solid last movie, but it wasn't like, I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't like necessarily Endgame. You know, it felt like third Guardians movie, but it was definitely building off of the events of Infinity War and Endgame. So it was just kind of like a continuation of the Guardians story. But you know that. But like, you know, High Evolutionary, it's weird. So I read some of the High Evolutionary because you have to read some of the Evolutionary War. There was a trend where Marvel was doing like these annuals would be like the crossover events, which is definitely a better approach than Secret Wars 2. Because he didn't force you to read everything, just the stuff that was relevant to the characters, you know. And so I read parts of that. Like the X Factor annual 1, it starts the Evolutionary War thing, and I considered reading the full event, ended up not. Then I read the X-Men one, the New Mutants one, and went back and read the Punisher one. The Punisher one is second. Anyway, the High Evolutionary was a character I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, and I actually liked that him and Apocalypse clashed. But I didn't know, a ton about the character, right? Didn't know a ton. He was fantastic in this movie. I do think he had a few too many meltdowns. I think that the meltdowns are great, but they could have been spaced out more and cut down. They're more that simmering. So when you get there, it's great. I would have liked to have seen the High Evolutionary's mask, but I understand why they went the direction they did. Hold on. The High Evolutionary, he's red in the comics. I don't know why they made him purple, but because he's red in the comics. Here's the thing. The High Evolutionary, the texture of his armor looks right. It does. I do understand if some people were to be like, they like the comic look. I don't think the comic look is anything spectacular, personally. I think it's cool, but I don't think it's like, the best thing ever. I think, hang on, where have I seen this actor before? Played the High Evolutionary. I've seen him in stuff. What has he been in? Oh, they made a reference to the Animen, who have been in X-Men comics, the Count Nefaria, which there was a comic reference. I was like, ooh, Animen, Marvel. Okay, I guess there's a band called the Animen. That's not what I'm talking about. The Animen. They are they first appeared in Daredevil. Okay. These people. Oh, that makes sense. Wait, so were the Animen in the movie? Hold on, let me pull this up. Oh, this might be a spoiler, but it's like an only off-the-cuff reference, I think, unless these animal creatures were supposed to be the Animen. Maybe they were. I don't think so, because I don't remember seeing Frogman, Catman, Birdman, or Ape Man. Anyway, I thought it was a very solid movie. The whole Gamora and I remember people saying this. I kept seeing these article headlines that it's like, Gamora and Star-Lord, it's about them falling out of love, because things are different. And it's like they kind of do that, but I swear there's still a little tension. It was weird. There's also one scene in the elevator that felt way too exposition heavy. It was almost as if it's meant for like years from now if someone's just watching the Guardians movies. It's almost like cashing people up in case they skip Infinity War and Endgame. That's what it felt like because it didn't feel very natural at all. I need to get sleep study done. Sometimes I can sleep well. Most times it's like 3 or 4 hours. All right, I understand. High Evolutionary, he is okay, but he is significant during the Phoenix Saga of the X-Men. Wait, he is? What does the High Evolutionary do in the Phoenix Saga? Hold on. Because I've read it. I don't remember. I remember the Shi'ar Empire. I don't remember the High Evolutionary. What did the High Evolutionary do? In Phoenix Saga. I don't remember that. Are you sure? I don't think the High Evolutionary. I don't think he's involved in. Chad, is this guy correct? High Evolutionary. I don't think he's involved in Phoenix Saga at all. Adam Warlock was very underwhelming. I will say, if he really did feel like basically like because the thing is, from what I understand, I actually last night because those are two characters that, especially Adam Warlock is a character that I know is one of the most important characters in the Marvel universe, right? That being said, I know fuck all about him. It's funny actually. The characters in the MCU, like the Avengers characters, are actually characters I don't know tons about. A lot of what I know was from the movies, right? But from what I understood, Adam Warlock is a very powerful figure, and he's like an extremely important figure in the comics. And Marco, you're spot on. They made him goofy. And that's they really MCU-ified Adam Warlock. They did. William, what's his name? William Poulter, is that his name? Like, he's a good actor. I don't necessarily say he was miscast because it was really down to how he was written. He was written where it was almost feels like a half-baked version of the character where they're like, oh, we let him out of his cocoon too early. That's what it feels like. Adam Warlock was like teased earlier, right? And so because of that, I'm gonna have to shut that drawer. I'm gonna have to do it because Adam Warlock was like teased earlier. It was like I'll probably cut this bit, by the way, into a YouTube video. I definitely screwed up that take by saying that. Oh God, my hair is a disaster. Give me a second. The video will just cut to me in a hat for no discernible reason. But you guys will know. You'll see and you'll know. What was it talking about? Okay, so Adam Warlock, they kind of made a bitch, honestly. I remember I had actually seen that opening shot because I kept seeing things on Twitter and I was like, I'm actually interested in this MCU movie. So, you know, I was like, I gotta go see this one. And my friend said, we're going. And I was like, okay. So I went. But anyway, I had seen that Crazy on You music of him flying in. And at first I was like, oh, that's an end. And I'm like, wait, no, it's James Gunn. It's probably the music he actually used. And it was, and it fit. But I didn't realize it was the first shot of the movie and that it was early on. I thought it was going to be a later scene. It was... the thing is, he'll be like badass for a second, and then he gets bitch slapped, basically. Kind of sucked seeing that that happen with the character. A Rocket is the real standout. Because here's the thing: I didn't realize until more recently that High Evolutionary and Adam Warlock's history are so intertwined. That being said, if you watch this movie, even though they're kind of intertwined, they really feel separate. That's one thing James Gunn really fumbled in this script. I thought the script is mostly great. There are some issues, but I think it's mostly a fantastic script. I think my issue would be Adam Warlock. He feels very shoehorned in. And I feel like considering that the High Evolutionary is the villain and considering those characters have an intricate history together, those two should have been able to fit better than they did. It almost feels like I wish they hadn't teased Adam Warlock before this point, because it's almost like they could have come up with a more natural origin within this film for the character, rather than they have to go, oh, we have this here, have this idea here. Well, they're kind of linked here. That's kind of what it felt like. It didn't work, in my opinion, that character, Adam Warlock. He really felt like an afterthought in some way. I don't think he was an afterthought. But I'm saying, because you look at all the other characters, the High Evolutionary, even Rocket's friends, which, oh, man, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Like Nebula, Gamora, Mantis, actually, was a big standout in this movie. Mantis has been growing on me more and more in each one. Star-Lord, Groot. And then Adam Warlock was okay. He wasn't a show stealer for me. But the good stuff was so damn good that it's okay. It's okay. What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, the Rocket Raccoon, they tie his stuff in with the High Evolutionary so beautifully. And he is the centerpiece of this film. He's so good, dude. And there's this whole story. This movie has some balls at how it goes dark, dude. It for all its goofiness, and it goes really goofy, and then it goes really dark, and it really is crazy in some of the directions this movie goes. It doesn't pull punches in certain areas. It was ballsy, and I liked it. There's even an F-bomb, which I was like, wow. The Homelander meme, oh, wow. Like there's this, it's hard to talk about without spoiling it. So maybe I'll have to go into more spoiler details. Overall, highly recommend this movie. Highly recommend it. The action is stellar. There is one sequence that I immediately was like, I want to find this again on YouTube. And if you've seen the movie, you know what it is. It's followed by a really cool slow-mo walking. No, it's really cool slow-mo followed by really cool action. It's nuts, man. But there were some things like even Adam Warlock. There were points where I forgot where he was or what he was doing or what his motivations were at the time. It was really weird. Yeah, he felt really out of place. It's sad that he felt so out of place, but otherwise, very solid movie. Very solid movie. I enjoyed it. Zelda 2 comes out tomorrow. I've been putting off finishing Hyrule Warriors for so damn long. I was like on the last level of it in December, and I've just been putting off finishing the game. I'm going to. And then after I do that, then I'm going to allow myself permission to go get, or maybe I'll get the game first just so I know I have it. Then I'll start the game. I'm putting the finishing touches on this latest Living Legends script. Hopefully the last. Yeah, I mean, there's never really a last one, is there, until the damn story is finished. But this last rewrite of the script, at least. I got to make sure it funks. But before we get to myself, guys, you might have seen it at the beginning of the video, but I'm going to say it anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't backed Voyage or Star Riders, because we're talking about sci-fi stories, and look, we love Marvel, right? If you're here, you probably like Marvel. Correction, not Phoenix Saga, New Mutants and X Factor. The High Evolutionary, well, he played a role in the annuals. He played a role in the X-Men annuals just as much as the New Mutants and X Factor. I know he especially impacted. His impact is probably the greatest on New Mutants because actually it's a big clickbait cover that I wish I hadn't read because I'm following a reading order, and in the reading order it says certain details about each story, and so I accidentally read it and got it spoiled. But there's kind of like a fake out or something because one New Mutant character's powers get upgraded by the High Evolutionary. It's really cool. It's also just a really cool cover. But no, it was the Evolutionary War. Is it worth reading? Maybe I'll go back to it. I know Atlantis Attacks people don't really give a shit about. But what about the Evolutionary War? High Evolutionary also made a number of appearances in Avengers comics. Yeah, I know that's the Evolutionary War, I believe, finishes because they go through annuals for every character from like all the Spider-Man ones. They go through like it starts with X Factor is like part 1, Punisher is part 2. I read that right before my interview with Mike Barron, the part 2. I wasn't reading all the annuals in order, though I had considered it. But I read the Punisher annual before my interview with Mike Barron because I was actually just marathoning some more Punisher stuff because I had only read some of it and I wanted to get more, in my system. But yeah, so there's like the Punisher annual, like it goes through, and I think the last annual that it crosses through is the Avengers one. Oddly enough, Fantastic Four and Punisher. What do you mean, oddly enough, Fantastic Four and Punisher? What do you mean? High Evolutionary. He fights or Evolutionary War, I believe. Yeah, Evolutionary War. Right here, hold on. Here it is, the whole event. Right. Joseph Fazio is in the chat. Hold on. He said, Vaughn, what's up, motherfucker? How the hell are you? I'm doing well, Joseph. How are you? Doing very well. We're talking about Guardians 3 and now the Evolutionary War. Okay, yeah, no. So it's X Factor, Punisher Annual. I haven't read. The thing is, there's like 3 stories in each one, right? There's like a story. The bulk of these annuals, from what I remember, it was like a story about insert character or team dealing with the High Evolutionary. And then there's a story that's specific to the book that has nothing to do with the High Evolutionary. And then there's a High Evolutionary specific story that has nothing to do with the book. So it's like, that's actually really smart. It's like the annuals, it's almost like if you're reading just the High Evolutionary stuff, we got you covered. If you're reading just the character, we got you covered. Either way, you have to read the story with both. It's pretty smart. So I stopped reading the High Evolutionary stuff because I was like, you know, if I read the part 1, I was like, wait a minute, this is gonna have like part 4. I'm not reading this shit. Obviously, I went back and read that later, but yeah. So I've read 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it didn't cover every annual. Okay, just the let's see, Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four, Amazing Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man. No Spectacular. Oh no, and Spectacular Spider-Man. Okay. Yeah, and it ends with the Avengers. Okay, cool. So you notice how there were a lot less Marvel titles. Wait, no, did Daredevil ever have annuals? Isn't it weird that, like, the Punisher did, but Daredevil didn't? That's weird to me. Because like I'm after with Claremont's X-Men, I'm so used to like looking out for the miniseries and stuff, and then having Frank Miller's Daredevil run where it's just issues. You know, it's kind of nice. I was very disappointed in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Oh, let's see this. Well, it kind of felt like I was watching a fourth, and the final movie and the third was missing. Just a huge swath of information and threads that just weren't there. We're gonna attempt to explain. Seems like, cop out. I can understand that. I was talking about that earlier. Hold on, I do have a guest I'm gonna bring in. Hold on. Yeah, I'll just bring him in. No intro for now. Sir, how you doing?
Why are you alone?
You're quiet as fuck.
Why are you by yourself? You don't hear me?
I'm hanging. I'm talking about Kang should have been in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I no, High Evolutionary worked as the villain. No, just Vazio, I get what you're saying. I felt that it was a very natural extension. All right, you know what? I got to use an intro. I already introduced one without an intro. I can't introduce 2 in a row. Come on now.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control.
Yeah, maybe I should do a more spoiler-based discussion at some point. Maybe even tomorrow. Would you guys be interested in that on
yes,
Guardians 3? But you guys haven't seen it, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. I would be interested in discussing it, but I'm not a big fan of James Gunn's Guardians, actually. Because I'm actually a really big Drax fan, especially like
I heard his Drax isn't. That's one of the weird things too, is because James Gunn is a comic book fan, and I always said, you know, his movies are good because he's a comic book fan.
Supposedly he's a comic book fan.
And then I remember someone said, well, do you know if his comic Guardian characters are actually accurate? And I was like, that's a good point. I guess I don't. I just kind of assumed. But apparently, I know Drax isn't.
Yeah, Drax isn't. Gamora also, I don't know. She's feels kind of
really
bland.
A member, right? Isn't she not even really a prominent member in the comics, from what I understand, or something?
She's kind of a member, kind of not a member. She's like, I mean, it's like Nova, you know, like Richard Rider Nova. Like they hang out in the same circle basically, and they fought like the same fights. But yeah, she was kind of like a later addition after James Gunn started sticking her in the movies, I think. But yeah, I would caution. I mean, I mean, you're welcome to have your own opinions, but I would caution anybody against, you know, bringing up, oh, so and so director claims to be a comic book fan, because I mean, Kevin Smith claimed to be a He-Man fan, and we all know how that turned out.
That's fair, but I do think James Gunn, because he's genuine, because he grew up with, like, you could tell. I think you could tell the way he talks, where he talks about John Ostrander's run and things like that. And the reason I say that also is because no one gave a shit about some like Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think they ever would have made that movie if he didn't campaign for it. Whether you think his portrayal is accurate or not, I think they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball with Drax Mantis, and what the fuck was Gunn's brother doing there? Warlock was a complete joke. Warlock, I was talking about earlier. I agree that they fucked up Adam Warlock. I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
Drax. I think Drax. The problem is after the first movie where he's not on his vengeance quest anymore. And then with Thanos, because that's the thing. It was all. It's the first Guardians. I really do think that they kind of messed up Drax's arc, and then they didn't know where to go.
No, they completely butchered him. They completely butchered him.
Because the first movie, he is a guy seeking vengeance with some goofy moments, but he's seeking vengeance. And what happens is the second one kind of it's kind of like a middle point for the character, right? So they, but then the thing is, I was thinking Infinity War. I thought for sure Drax was going to die in Infinity War because I thought this is the end of his character, right? Because his whole quest has been about originally was Ronan, then he said Ronan was just a puppet. Really, I'm after Thanos. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, does he have any big moments with Thanos?
No, never.
That's disappointing.
I'll actually DM you real quick. I don't know if you want to show this on stream, but I think this was during Annihilation War. Let me check that link. Yeah, during Annihilation War, he kills Drax kills Thanos. And I mean Drax, that's the thing. Drax isn't an alien. He's a human. He's just
is he a human?
Yeah, he's just been jacked up to like crazy power levels so that he can be the kind of like the avatar of life, since Thanos is essentially the avatar of death. So
and isn't he also extremely intelligent too?
Oh yeah, extremely intelligent. He's got some kick-ass moments.
Dumb in the movie. He's like to the point they keep mentioning it. That was the thing. Yeah, a friend had mentioned that to me. So maybe they're not as accurate as I thought. Rocket also isn't he? He has like an Australian or British accent, doesn't he, in the comics?
I don't think so necessarily. I mean, it depends on what you read.
I'm pretty sure he has a Cockney accent.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it depends on what you read, and not everybody writes it with. I don't know what the word is. Like, it's not inflection, but like the
dialect.
The dialect. Yeah, like you don't.
Chris Claremont does that a lot. He's like, if you guys have read any stuff, you know what I'm talking about. Like the Southern people that say like AHM or be like deny instead of deny. I deny no. For the Scottish people, it's really fun. Or deny, it's really funny. Yeah, the music was too much. No, the Member Berries was done correctly. The music was just too much. Yeah, I think I can understand where you're coming from, but I mean, look, I'm a sucker for the music, but maybe if I watch it again, I'll be like, whatever. But I thought it was mostly.
I know what is it? I know Ass.
They used to have some short, ugly elf. Somehow he's a raccoon now. What?
Oh yeah, Pip the Troll. That's probably what.
Well, those are two different characters.
About. Yeah, they're two different characters.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Pip the Troll, he hasn't been around in a hot minute, or I don't think he's been around in a hot minute.
There was no fucking Slayer. That's Yeah.
They didn't. I know they probably didn't have Martyr or Moondragon either.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar. That's the thing. It's weird. I'm not as familiar with a lot of the MCU characters that they've been using, which goes to show, because that's the thing. They really were, and to their credit, what they were able to do with characters, because they didn't have, even Daredevil was sold off. Like, they didn't have any of the heavy hitters, to be fair, and even Universal Hulk. Obviously they had that tied up in Universal. That's one of the things that's weird too. It's like people have, and it kind of shows that a lot of these people aren't comic book fans, because people are suddenly like, oh, Marvel is the Avengers. I remember I saw one top 3 list that was like the top 3 characters, like Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. And I'm like, no, they fucking what? Someone said that, and I'm like, okay, you're clearly just an MCU. And when I say MCU fan, I'm not talking about comic book movie fan.
Yeah,
because I didn't start reading the comics until I was in middle school. But I grew up with like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and stuff like that. But you could tell that these people like only watch MCU stuff, because I'm like, for you to even say that. No, the top 3 when I remember growing up, from what I remember, and I remember I was about to type this in the comments, and then I saw everyone else was echoing my sentiment. It was Spider-Man, Hulk, Wolverine were the 3 most popular.
Yeah.
And then people were like, now the Hulk is like a puss.
No, he is. He's a pussy now. He really is.
The Hulk. He's also a side. The thing is, even in the first Avengers movie, Hulk is a threat. To the point where like they have to like literally contain him, and they were scared of the Hulk, and they have to, But even in the fights, he's a huge asset, right? And then they kind of go, well, we don't know what to do with him.
Man, just a joke.
That's what they kind of did to Adam Warlock. It was like, but the thing is, it wasn't like he was cool, and then they sidelined him. He was like,
it
was weird. Paramount owning Hulk? I thought it was Universal, isn't it? I think it's Universal. Yeah, it's Universal. They're going for the literal legendary Star-Lord minus the Star-Lord and his Guardians gang. I don't know the Guardians of the Galaxy in the comics too. What comics should I read? Because I know the iteration that they pulled from the movie is the more modern one, which I did like those costumes, by the way. They actually
Yeah,
incorporated
the
those
like
costumes.
the what is it? The Road to the Realm of Kings and Realm of Kings costumes. That's
That
what they were
sounds
wearing.
appropriate. Yeah, I really like those costumes in the movie.
Yeah,
I thought
they
the High Evolutionary was a very solid villain. Like I said, I think he had too many temper tantrums that could have been spaced out better. Because I think that by having him be more calm and articulate, and then it would like by having less of them, it would kind of heighten the impact. Because as it stood, it was almost like it's kind of like you know when it's like simmering, and then occasionally the villain will lash out. It's kind of like that.
Do they explain why they're wearing the color-coded spacesuits at some point?
Yeah, they have a joke about it that's actually kind of funny. The movie has some jokes, but it also has some, and this is what I found. I really think that it was after Guardians, everyone else tried to write like James Gunn, and they just couldn't. And even then, James Gunn, in my opinion, sometimes takes a bit too long on his jokes or overindulges a bit too much or adds jokes where they just don't need to be.
Oh,
like,
yeah. He indulged in Suicide Squad.
I loved the Suicide Squad. I personally thought that was perfect the way he did that one.
Now there's that was Suicide Squad. If you read the original John Ostrander run, it's not something humorous. It's a lot darker and it's a lot grittier. And like Peacemaker, I do not like what he did with Peacemaker.
I wasn't crazy about Peacemaker. I loved I love the Suicide Squad. Wasn't crazy about. I just thought Peacemaker felt like nothing was happening, and it felt like the comedic dialogue to me just wasn't hitting.
Yeah, and oh god, King Shark was freaking trash.
What?
King Shark,
I
he
love
looked
King
like
Shark.
trash. Yeah, no,
I disagree.
His dialogue maybe, but not the look.
I
Not
thought
the look. His
I
look
disagree
looked fucking
completely.
trash. No, like hold on. Look at how he looks in the comics. He looks so much cooler, and yet they basically made him a fat slob.
King Shark. I love King Shark in the movie. I maybe he wasn't. I don't know if he was comic accurate, but I love him in the. Come on, he looks so cool though, man. I don't even.
No,
care.
not in the movie. No,
I
looks
liked him in the
fat.
movie.
He looks fat.
But it worked, dude. I like.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work at all. He looks freaking obese. He's the son of a freaking of a Hawaiian god. He should look like it. You know.
I liked him though.
And
Hey,
I mean,
life
they even use his real name in the movie. They call him
Nanaue.
Nanaue. Yeah.
I do think this one was actually cool too. The Flash ones. I
Yeah,
actually
the
remember
Flash one-
freaking out. The Flash
CW
ones actually looked
Flash
really
one
good.
was really cool. He looks
Credit
awesome.
where it's due.
That's
I
King
like
Shark.
all of them, honestly. I don't mind any of them. I think they all look. It's really crazy. I always assumed he was an Aquaman villain, but he wasn't. He's a Superboy villain.
Yeah. But yeah,
'Cause
no,
I don't like this one.
yeah, Hammerhead.
Another shitty New 52 redesign. There were so many of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many.
Um.
I also think I
here's
will
a
say
really
they
good
did
one.
Captain Boomerang's too dirty, dude. And
Yeah,
just-
Captain Boomerang. Yeah, no, Boomerang is another staple of the squad.
And well, that was one of the things is they were like, well, we don't need him. Or the whole point is that you're not supposed to get too attached to anyone. Okay, that would be fine if it was either towards the end of the movie or the next movie. The problem is I didn't give a fuck about the character. The only reason I cared about the character was because I know him from the comics. If I was watching that movie and that character died, I would have felt nothing because the first movie sucked balls, and
Yeah, no, but there are ways to There are ways to provide that feel without destroying your staple characters. Like, what is it? Let me grab my blabbed issue 1 of Suicide Squad real quick.
Yeah, I need to read that.
Like you can
There's
see
so
on the
many
cover.
to read. I know
Like,
you're
you
a
got-
big fan of Ostrander's run, right?
Yeah. You got Rick Flag right here.
That cover's
Bronze-
great. I might
yeah.
do an homage to it for something. At
Yeah,
some point
Bronze
down the line.
Tiger. I don't remember this heifer. She's
Katana, isn't that?
No, that's not Katana, I don't think. Maybe?
Go
I
ahead.
can't tell. I can't tell from that angle. I'd have to check. But yeah, and then you got Deadshot in the top right, and then Enchantress and Boomerang, right?
Oh, Enchantress was an original member. Okay.
Yeah, she was like an OG member. She was in the very first issue. But you could there are people in like Boomerang. The three really big staples are Deadshot, Boomerang, and Bronze Tiger. But I mean, they swapped out Bronze Tiger for like other characters later, like in recent iterations. Of the Suicide
Plastique,
Squad.
Nightshade,
Yeah, Plastique.
Nemesis. Oh, Nemesis, because he was in Gail Simone's Wonder Woman run. He wasn't that great in that, if I'm being honest. Briscoe, Karen Grace, Mind Boggler.
Yeah, but there are ways like there's a roster of characters you can pick that did die on the Suicide Squad. Like what is it? Like I think Mongal did die in the comics in John Ostrander's run. Like there's a whole and I think Javelin did as well. But there's a whole roster of like villains that died on the squad, and I mean you got normies coming in watching this movie. Like that's the audience that they're focused on. So, I mean, you could go with what the comics have, and you know, it's not that predictable. It's a niche kind of thing. I mean it's no different than like what is it? I think that's what they focus on, like predictability. Like, because they always want to shove like a twist in somewhere, and that proves that they don't really know. That proves that they don't like.
And the fact of the matter is, for normies, everything's a twist. Because people, that's one of the common arguments I always hear is people are like, if you just followed the comics, you know, we know everything. I'm like, really? You know the comics? Like, well, no. I'm like, yeah. So it would. I'm like, were you shocked when Thanos snapped his fingers? Like, yeah. It's like, yeah. Well, that was in the comics, so clearly they shouldn't change things because. Yeah. I was shocked too because I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and I hadn't read that story. So the idea that it's like you would just know everything if they followed the comics, or if everyone would just know everything. No, they wouldn't, because no one knows shit about the comics.
Yeah, no, and I mean people like with Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer, the manga's over. I've read the manga, but the anime is still going, and people eat the freaking anime up.
Yeah,
and the anime follows the Oh,
I was just saying I need to start season 3. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah, no, it's really, really good. I recommend it. Yeah, no, I mean, and a lot of manga or a lot of anime follows the manga very, very strictly, and I mean, it's still really, really good, and people still watch it. But that Hollywood directors want to throw all these twists in, and I personally, I think it's like a vanity thing. Like they want to be seen as like, oh, I made it better or something like that.
Yeah, like you have to put your own, you know.
Yeah. I also didn't like what they did to Jotunheim, because Jotunheim in James Gunn's Suicide Squad looks like a dildo.
Jotunheim, wait, who's he again?
Jotunheim is the fortress where they keep Starro. Yeah. And I mean, it was cool that
must be Molecule Man. If we get the Beyonder, or who knows, Molecule Man, that'd be interesting. He's a Fantastic Four villain, isn't he? Molecule Man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, because they decided to bring in Kang, and I got no idea what possessed them to do that. Maybe because he's an Avengers villain. Maybe
there's no fucking Avengers left.
Yeah. They killed all the really big name Avengers out.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Captain America is like.
Yeah, like
Captain America. Done like some reality shift where like Captain America's face changes, and they're like,
not even. They could have just recast him and just.
That's what I'm saying.
And just announced before the movie, like, hey, we recast the characters, because I mean,
or you could have a reality shift, because like, oh, my face is different.
Yeah,
I'm still Captain America though.
But
if they really wanted to change it, or they could just recast him. Yeah.
Yeah, and like they're not bringing in. They haven't brought in Dr. Doom.
They did it with Batman. They recasted Batman. I mean, granted, those movies, weren't good.
Yeah, that's because they keep recasting Batman because they got no idea what the hell they're doing over there.
No, but I'm saying you feel like
there is no plan at Warner Brothers.
Batman and Robin, and then
with the original 4, they went from Michael Keaton to Val Kilmer to George Clooney.
They also switched, directors, and even when I was a kid, I was like, these are very different movies.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Jotunheim doesn't look good, and I mean Jotunheim, they completely changed Jotunheim. They put it in, what was it? They put it in what's the Spanish island? It's not Santa Prisca. It's the other one.
Bel Rev.
No, not Bel Rev. That's a prison. I'm thinking of an island. Caribbean island. It's kind of like Puerto Rico.
Hold on, I know. Cordo Maltese.
Yeah, Cordo Maltese. Yeah, they put
Using Dark Knight Returns, isn't it? It is.
It might be.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I know they mentioned Cordo Maltese, or no, I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. But they put Jotunheim on Cordo Maltese, which makes no sense because Jotunheim it's supposed to be like a mountain shelter in the Middle East.
Yeah, Jotunheim does not sound Spanish.
Yeah, no, Jotunheim.
When you said it, I was thinking of like Norse mythology and shit. Honestly,
that's why they call it Jotunheim because.
How's it spelled?
Jotunheim, just Jotunheim. Yeah,
Jotunheim.
Heim. Yeah, but the reason they call it Jotunheim is because like the people in the area claim that it was built by giants, which I mean, of course, it wasn't, but it was just built by men. But because the fortress is so big and so like strong and impenetrable, you know. But that's one of their first missions is to infiltrate Jotunheim, which I mean the James Gunn Suicide Squad kind of follows that story, but I mean it doesn't what they have for Jotunheim doesn't work, and it just doesn't. It's basically them once again like coming up with their own idea and then stamping comic book crap onto it so they can advertise it. And that's basically what Hollywood likes to do.
Let's see. I said I have no faith in Marvel anymore. Fantastic Four will be fucked up. Adam Driver has no Reed Richards. Margot Robbie has no Susan Storm. She isn't tough enough. Emily Blunt is a perfect Susan Storm. She can get me. And that's another one I need to. There are so many comics I need to dive into, right? And not just I have a mountain of indie books, that are backed and whatnot. But also, I was going to read Private American today. I hadn't gotten to it yet. But like, I want to read especially the Lee Kirby Fantastic Four stuff. But from what I've got, I also didn't realize that Invisible Girl was like the main name because I've always known her as Invisible Woman. And I always thought it was just only in the early days she was Invisible Girl. I didn't realize she was the Invisible Girl for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think. Do you think that they made her? I guess I've never seen her be like she can get mean. I've never seen Storm get mean.
I've seen her get nasty and protective over her kids.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too. You really think they'll have like the like mom and the dad being the caretaker?
Oh God,
mom being you know what I mean? You think they'll ever allow that in the MCU, like a traditional relationship like that?
Probably not. They're probably Absurd's laughing. Yeah, they'll by Absurd. But yeah, they're not gonna. You're not gonna see the Fantastic Four. You're gonna see friggin' Hollywood Fantastic Four. The Thing is gonna be in a wheelchair. Human Torch is gonna be a twink. I don't know. Susan Storm's gonna be a tranny or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's tone it down.
Sorry. Yeah. No, I'm right though.
Oh, listen, someone's gonna be changed. They're four white people.
No, minimum two of them are gonna get changed.
Susan Storm's binary persona when she goes ape shit is all bad. Wait, binary? She has because I know that binary.
I know. Yeah, I know binary like Carol Danvers binary.
Yeah, I know Carol Danvers binary. I have that issue actually, and then I also have the classic version.
Yeah.
That was the first issue I read in its original printing, which I cited in the video, for an X-Men video. By the way, I need to go back to. I have these X-Men video essays that I did a while back. You can find them. I actually have a playlist of X-Men videos, and then I wrote a 17-page script for part 3. It was going to cover like the Wolverine miniseries, God Loves Man Kills, all the way up until 193. So it was going to cover like 30 issues. It was also going to cover Demon Bear. Was it going to cover Demon Bear? It's going to cover Demon Bear, Secret Wars, like a bunch of stuff. But I haven't gotten to it yet. But I'd love to make that video if you guys are interested. Just let me know. If you guys are interested in me doing more video essays, they take a lot more work. I probably won't be able to stream as much, but I'd love to. I genuinely would love to do that. Obviously, I'm going to finish up this comic book script, and yeah, I'm getting a part-time job, but I'd love to build out my YouTube channel because I have all these thoughts that I always want to get out there. What was Susan Storm's alternate persona when she gets kind of evil, overpowered? I'm not sure. By the way, guys, check out my buddy Zach. He's not here right now. Maybe he's, it is late.
Probably smoking more weed.
But make sure to check out Voyage the Call. He's a great guy and a great artist. And, we want in the indie scene, listen, we love our Marvels and we love our DCs and we take inspiration from them. But, it's nice to build our own stuff. And Zach is a guy, this is a book that deserves more backers, I would say. It really does. All right, it's messing up on here. I could pull it up in another tab, but let's get this guy. Oh, he's at 41 backers. We can get him higher than that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So if any of you in the chat haven't backed yet, please consider it. He's selling it. You can get the book for only $10, 48 pages. I'm editing this book. This will be my. Well, I also have Star Riders, another sci-fi book. Let me post the link to that in the chat because the pinned one is Voyage. Malice is Sue Storm's. Well, Malice, no, because Malice is. Correct me wrong, because Malice is a mutant who possesses people. So, Malice possessed Polaris for a very long time in the comics, from Uncanny X-Men 219 to 250, where it's the cover is Polaris no more. That's because they're excising Malice from Polaris. Malice might have taken over Sue Storm at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, it says I'm looking at a wiki, and I don't like to do that because I know that's what the Marvel stand, the MCU stands do. But
yeah, I was just talking to someone who I thought was a comic book fan, and then he just goes, "No, I just studied the lore." I was like, "Oh, you're like me back in the day."
Yeah, but it says here, Malice is the manifestation of the dark side of the Invisible Woman. She was first brought to life by the Psycho Man's hate monger during an attack on New York City.
Oh, why did I think Malice was a mutant? Malice X-Men. Hold on, because there is a character named Malice who is, I guess, just not. I guess that's just a completely different character.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it, and it says there's I think there's a couple different people who have kind of.
Yeah, I don't think Malice even has a physical form that we've seen.
Yeah, there's Malice, who's a Black Panther villain.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, Malice. She fought T'Challa during, I think, Don McGregor's run. Because I see Venom, Lord Carnage, Baron Macabre. Yeah.
I need to read that too. I've heard Stanley and Jack Kirby's Black Panther stuff is great. I know Christopher Priest's run is considered to be the best, from what I understand, or some of the best. Yeah, Alex, I might call it a night soon too. We'll see. That's another thing. Yeah, check out Young Monarchs by this guy B.S. Warren.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the campaign real quick.
Epic adult high fantasy adventure. I got awesome feats of courage. I've got wanton destruction. Incendiary
wanton.
Romance. Yeah, wanton destruction.
Wait, is this another?
Yeah, wanton is indiscriminate.
No, I'm saying. Wait, hang on.
Sorry. Deliberate and unprovoked.
No, I don't think you're understanding. This is another one of those dystopian moments. You think wonton is a food? Wanton destruction.
Oh, wanton. Okay, yeah.
Wait, did you think it was wonton?
Well, I mean, your hair looks like ramen noodles, so I mean, I can say wonton and it fits on your stream.
Yeah, it does kind of look like. Yeah, should I get a cut, guys? I feel like I might have to get a cut.
Yeah, you could get
the feats of courage. Yeah, exactly. Feats of courage. Wonton destruction.
check
I
out
love you, Alex.
check out my OnlyFans for feats of courage.
No.
No. But yeah, I'll drop. I can get you the. I know you've already got the link somewhere in your DMs, but I'll just send it again in the private chat for the.
I'll stream again tomorrow for sure too, because Die Filthy Dystopians. I know there's traction on Fridays. I could sacrifice a bit of social life. You know what I mean? Well, actually, we'll see. I don't know how much is the question. Die Animal Boy.
Also, I'll drop the. I don't know if.
I didn't show your sign up page yet.
No, no, you did not yet. But I also have this sweet link on Wattpad where you can read the first 6 chapters as a teaser.
Yeah,
hey, Jules.
I'll blast that link. Oh, Jules in the chat.
Yep.
Here we go. Yeah, Young Monarchs. Also, Voyage has an art contest, by the way, Zach's book. So again, if you can't back Voyage, that's fine. Share it out. Same goes for Young Monarchs, sharing the link around. For Star Riders, if you could share the links around for any of those, if you have socials, or you just know people who might be interested in that sort of that sort of thing.
Yeah, and even if you think you can't buy it, if you sign up, you might be able to, because I'm gonna signing up nets you some. It's gonna net you some sweet discounts on the book when it comes out, both paperback and hardcover. So,
Look at that! Look at that!
Yeah, dude. Chapters 1 through 6, right there. You'll get a taste of the book. You'll be able to start picking who your favorite characters are going to be. Yeah, it'll be awesome, man.
Marco, you not a comic book fan? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick, dude.
Can we get the old Monarchs, the middle-aged Monarchs?
You'll see them. You'll get to meet the parents.
No, I'm saying I want a book for each of them.
I got 700 pages.
My favorite character is the furry. All right, Jules, I'm gonna have to time you out if you keep talking about that. You know what I mean?
Jules likes Bjorn. I'll make a note of that.
Likes porn?
Bjorn.
No, I'm fucking with you. I know. Bjorn. Porn?
Yeah. So I'll go through if you don't mind.
I'm gonna listen and murder things in Fallout. Thank you, Joseph Fazio.
If you don't mind pulling up the cover, which should be in your DMs,
yeah,
if I haven't blown them up with, if I haven't blown up your DMs completely with pictures of King Shark from Suicide Squad and Drax killing Thanos.
I didn't see this.
Yeah. No, I mean they're the same pictures that you looked at. I
didn't look at them yet, actually.
Yeah.
The King Shark one I looked at, but I didn't look at the others.
Yeah, the King Shark cover that for Suicide Squad that looks really good. I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they spend good money on the cover artists these days.
Yeah, they have to. They don't have much else going for them.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of the people, like, I bought so many comics that I haven't fucking read. Not this, but not this, and I'm like, why am I doing this?
Why do I do this?
Because at first that was my thing. Is I was like, if I just spend this amount, I'll get these new readers. And I thought about it. I'm like, all right, but how many people are gonna buy my comic because it's a #1 issue? And then I'm going to be like, okay, for issue 2, I'm going to go. And then it's going to be like, no, they're not here. You know what I mean? Like, I want to get people in that first issue.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to have a giant size first issue.
Yeah. Key is getting them hooked, man. For me, since I know I've got 700 pages and most people, if they get bored, they're not going to hang on to it. I try to make it as exciting as I can, in the front, put in some chaos and wanton destruction,
Wanton. Hang on, let me clarify it for you. Yeah, wanton is the wanton. Yeah.
Jules, Vaughn is taking issue He has a qualm
He's saying
about how
Jules.
I
He's
pronounce-
doing that. He's doing that. No, because Jules was with me. Last time that he was saying fucking dystopian, and
Yeah.
Zach says amalgam, and you also say wonton instead of want. Ready?
Wanton.
You hear that?
Well, Google's run by the Matrix anyway,
Wanton.
so we don't care what Google thinks.
Dude, do you ever just mess with the announcer in Smash Bros. Or like fighting games like that?
No, you know what I used to do? You know how in Halo Reach you could what was it? It was like you could pick like an announcer voice or something like that, and one of them was that one black sergeant dude.
Oh, what?
I can't remember. his
Sergeant
name.
Johnson.
Yeah, I think that's his name. Yeah,
Dude, I kind of
Johnson?
want to hear you read
Yeah.
read Young Monarchs aloud and see how many of your own words you pronounce wrong. Is dystopian and wanton, are those words in there?
I don't think so.
In your 700 pages, you gotta have one of them in there, right? Maybe.
No, not dystopia or wanton. I have
I've never played Halo Reach. It's weird. I grew up with like my Xbox 360. I didn't really get into Halo until like a couple years ago. I never finished Halo 4, but like Halo Reach is one of those games that I really want to play. But I know everyone else did.
Yeah.
But I grew up with I had the Halo Reach controllers, but I didn't have Halo Reach. It was weird.
Yeah.
On my 360.
If you look up like what is it like I don't know what it was, if it's like voice test or something like that, but if for your character's voice you could get like I said Sergeant Johnson, and the tester line, I remember like playing it back over and over again with my brother and laughing our asses off. Like the voice tester line they gave him was like, "Son, I could be your daddy, but never mind." And it was we were just so punch drunk, like playing that on repeat, like for an hour. That's how I used to entertain myself. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind pulling up the cover of the book. Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough, I guess. Yeah. Oh, and I did what you said.
Making the most unfun show for my guests. Like, I'm just like really like, hey, we're promoting our stream. No, you're not. Get the fuck out of here.
I actually
started like being like, oh, wouldn't you entitled to? You think you could use my stream to? Yeah, that's a great.
Yeah. So this guy in the middle, this is Prince
Although
Anubis.
I will say that looks like a J. Aged.
It does, yeah. I was thinking about that, but I was like, you know what? I mean, I showed it to a few people, and they were like, they said, first of all, they said it looked way better than the original title art.
That's the thing is because I'm conflicted because the original title logo for Young Monarchs had a very distinct look, and I almost wanted to have that, still have that.
Yeah.
But like, I was just hoping you could find a middle ground where it was like that.
Technically, I still have the rights to it because I mean I paid the artist for like the copyright and stuff. I'm not real inclined to use it, I guess.
Really, you didn't want to do a version of it that's like is there like a middle ground between this and that?
I tried to get a middle ground. It did not work out.
I mean, it looks fine. It looks fine. That's the only thing is I'm just like, man, if only that wasn't impossible to read, it would have been great.
Oh, and Phil's in the Phil Diaz is in the chat right
Phil
now.
Diaz is in the chat.
Yeah, dude,
you should back in my book.
Yeah, dude, totally. Lost Pages looks sick. I love Crim's look. Crim looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, Phil Diaz.
But yeah, so this dude in the middle, this is Prince Anubis. He's the prince of the underworld. He's the son of the Lich Queen, and he's an academic prodigy / a sorcerer. He's very Machiavellian, so he's willing to go to any means.
Big word.
Yeah, he's willing to go to any means necessary to protect the kingdom. This girl right here on the bottom left, this is Princess Drakeda of the Deepwood. She's the daughter of the master shaman of the woodland spirits, and she's very poised and delicate, but she's currently trapped in an engaged marriage to not engaged, an arranged marriage to her childhood friend that she doesn't really want to get married to. And her childhood friend is actually that guy up on the top right, that Minotaur. That's Bjorn Heavyhorn.
Wait, she's engaged to him?
Yeah. And they're
she's
both
engaged to that?
Yeah, it's to because their parents want to basically solidify their power base. So they're getting an arranged marriage.
Can they fornicate? Does that work?
Yeah, they can. But Bjorn, I mean, like I said, they're childhood friends and they don't really see each other that way. And Dragheda is also
How can he not like those titties? Does he more prefer like animal titties?
No, I say it in the book. He's just not real focused on girls. Bjorn likes hunting and fighting better than sleeping around. Yeah.
So he doesn't get an erection?
No, he gets an erection, and
how can I look at these? These are marvelous.
Huh?
Never mind.
Oh.
Phil said, "Is this a comic?"
No, this is this is a fantasy novel. This is my fantasy novel, Young Monarchs: Last Word of the Eight Kingdoms. Phil said, "Vaughn, let the man talk."
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I just kept making titty jokes. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, if I can, I think I have it on my desktop. I'll show you one of the original commission pieces I had Sunshiro did. Sunshiro, by the way, again, at Sunsy Sunsun on Twitter. He's my cover artist. He's a guy out in Japan. He did an awesome job with this. But yeah, Bjorn Heavyhorn he's a Minotaur. He's the son of the chieftainess of the Beast tribes. And he's extremely, extremely strong. But he's also got some really bad drinking habits, and he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. That girl hugging the guy in the golden armor on his left, that's Dragon Princess Kara of the Burning Empire. She's the daughter of the Dragon Princess, and she's already extremely skilled in combat. She's trained with the greatest warriors of her kingdom, but she has trouble controlling her own vices. And then that guy she's embracing is Prince Tyrael the of the Shining City of Heaven. He's a Celestial, which is like a race of golden-skinned humanoids. Mark wants to know if you're a secret furry.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No, Jules is.
Oh, fair enough. No, she's a... Well, I don't know. Maybe they've got...
She was saying some sus stuff earlier. It's in the chat. Hold on, let me find it.
Maybe Jules is into like furry yaoi. I don't know. But yeah. And Tyrell's lived kind of a sheltered childhood, and his parents foist doctrines of genocide on him. His parents are King Raphael and Queen Doris of Heaven, but he doesn't really what is it? He doesn't really take to that, and he's a lot more compassionate than other Celestials. And then that robot next to him is Trajan. Trajan is the youngest son of Princeps Tacitus, who's the leader of the Fleet High Council. He lives in a fleet of starships in Allar's outer atmosphere. And he's a really, really... Trajan is a very special egg. You'll see what I mean when you read the book.
Yeah, I still need to read the chapters you sent me, by the way. I'm sorry, I've been so...
Yeah, no sweat, dude. You can, if you want, you can just read what's on Wattpad, because that will get you...
Oh, is that the same thing?
Yeah, it's those first 6 chapters.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry. I know you said you wanted me to read them for you and give you feedback, right, or something, or no?
Yeah. No,
okay.
And then, yeah.
Sorry, you need okay.
You're fine. Nah. And then that girl on the far right, that's Raiden. By day, Raiden is the poised and innocent daughter of President for Life Thor of Skyscraper City. However, at night, she's a wild party girl with a taste for dangerous boys.
Ooh.
Yeah. She's a storm elemental, so she can fly at like
dangerous
supersonic
boys.
speed. Yeah.
Like Phil Diaz?
Oh yeah,
like John Malin. Dangerous.
Yeah, John Malin and Phil Diaz.
Dangerous. No, Phil's not dangerous. John Malin's dangerous.
Yeah. And then that last dude on the bottom right, that's Tetris. He's the son of 2 delegates of the Undersea Alliance. which is a coalition of scientists and military leaders that preside over the northern oceans in All Earth. Tetris is a shapeshifter. He's the first to have been born in centuries, and he's an extremely talented engineer. He's as much of an engineering prodigy as Anubis is an academic and magic prodigy, and he's very sarcastic and cynical. Tetris, in my opinion, Tetris and Raiden have some of the best lines in the book. Or some of the wittiest, at least. Neko Vaughn. But yeah, that's my cast of characters. I'm very excited to start sharing them with people.
Jules, are you referring to upstairs, downstairs? You know what I mean?
Jules might not like me then. I've got fur like a barbarian king.
Your accidental face reveal still to me is so funny. It wasn't on my channel, by the way. It's only for Von Coleman's eyes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No one else knows, but it was just really fucking funny.
Yeah. No, Jules. I actually sent Jules a picture of me the other day, so she's seen my face
because we've hung out with Cecil once, and I found an accidental face reveal. I didn't even realize this. I have a picture of because I was like, "Who's this guy in the background?" This guy, and then it was like, "Oh shit!" Then Cecil.
Yeah, oh god, there was a character, like it's either from Marvel or DC. There was a character that Cecil actually, like, I mean, I've only ever seen him with the mask on, but there's a character that like the bottom half of his face reminds me of, and I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. It popped into my head the other day when we said that Zach looked like Puck from Alpha Flight.
Oh, Cecil kind of does, dude. Hang on, Cecil. Can you imagine Cecil cosplaying as Puck from Alpha Flight?
Bro, that would be awesome. get him to put on a Puck costume and promote the Jack
Dude, that
show.
Should be... Dude, Bobby sent me a video that's straight up like Cecil. Hold on, hang on. But first, let me pull this up. By the way, if I hit 500 subscribers by the end of the month, I will do a live stream as Cypher from New Mutants.
Ah, sweet.
There he is.
Oh, yeah.
That's me. Yes, Phil, you would like that. Phil, what do you think? What do you think about that, Phil? If I get 500 subscribers, so the 500 subscriber special, I have to go as Cypher. Let me get the outfit just to prove I have it. I thought I didn't have it anymore, but it turns out I do.
Yeah, I still have the jacket. I could do. Nah, I'm not gonna cosplay at the con. Nah, not at Garden State Comic Fest. Maybe a different time.
By the end of the month. But I have the Cypher costume.
Nice.
Right here.
No, knowing Cecil, he will make a version of Puck that uses some bondage.
Everyone's favorite character. Yeah, well, I'm apparently I'm the only one who likes this character.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not the only one. There are other people who appreciate me at cons that aren't Cecil.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Vaughn. You have me on your channel, and even though I occasionally let some very offensive terms,
I don't know if I could wear that. If I want to wear it to Garden State, maybe that'll be another sub goal. You know what I mean?
If you maybe not Garden not Garden State, but a convention after Garden, or no, because I want to wear because Young Monarchs, the campaign is going to be live while I'm at Garden State.
So
shit! Because I want to wear. So I want to wear like a T-shirt with the book cover on it. And,
nice.
Yeah.
Louis Cypher's power is again being gay. First of all, it's a why, and no, his power is that he can understand any language. That's his power, but that includes like hacking and stuff like computers.
Yeah.
Okay, it sounds really fucking all right, but like he's cool, and it's more so that he's like a good character, and his whole thing is that he's not he's not supposed to be powerful, but he's a good person and he has heroic traits, and he's like insecure about it. One of the things that I liked about the New Mutants was that they weren't always as powerful, right? That Cypher, he he was kind of like thrust into this. And it's like now he's a part of the team, but he instead of like taking it easy, he chooses to fight alongside them because that's just who he is, you know. And he's endearing as a character. Like he has a lot of really good traits and his flaws too. It's hard to explain if you don't read it. But I'm considering doing a video on like Cypher too. But like yeah, his oh wait, that's Cypher, right? Here we go. So like Cypher, when he first joins the team, where is it? It was the Sienkiewicz issue where he first joins. This is cool. Issue. Damn, Sienkiewicz draws a good storm. Okay, anyway. Yeah, Cypher, so like he right here, he's cool in Asgardian Wars too. He and Warlock are like best friends. And so like they like because basically you know who Warlock is or no? Warlock is sick.
Do I know who Warlock is? Or is that
Warlock.
a question?
Yeah, Warlock from New Mutants.
Yeah, I know who Warlock is. Like
Right,
the robot.
Yeah, so Warlock and Cypher are best friends. Because Cypher basically was the only when Warlock crash lands at Xavier's mansion, right? Because he's a mutant, because he has his mutant ability is empathy. So that's why he was like, because they're all very savage and they just kill each other. He's supposed to kill his own father, right? Because he has empathy, he's like, I'm not doing that. Because it was like everyone in the species, that's just how it works. The offspring kills the. But he was like, I'm not doing that because he had empathy, and no one else did, and no one else had thought about this. So basically, crash lands. He finds refuge at Xavier's school, but they don't realize that he's not hostile. So he's like transforming everything, and so they have to bring in this character who was introduced earlier, Doug Ramsey, who's like they find out he's this really intelligent kid that Kitty Pryde is friends with. That Xavier is like, yeah, he's a mutant, but we don't have to bring him in because, you know, his power is subtle enough where he can blend in with society, and he might not even really know. Well, then basically, this is the issue right after Demon Bear Saga. You have Warlocks going on this rampage, right? Or like unintentional rampage. And they're like, all right, well, we can't understand him. We can't break through to him. Let's get someone who understands, and that's Cypher. So in that issue, basically, we get, even though it's neither their first appearance, because it's not either their first appearance, but you get Cypher and Warlock join the team together in the same issue. So that's a good issue. It's a Sienkiewicz issue too, so you know, it's got that beautiful art.
Yeah. Where do you got to read X-Force?
I'll get to it. I know Uncanny X-Force is apparently really good. X-Force, we'll see how much of it I'm going to read, because here's the thing. That comes like right at the end of Claremont's run. I'm definitely going to finish out New Mutants. We'll see how far I get into X-Force.
Yeah, because I think, hold on, let me see. Executioner's Song. That was one of my favorites.
That's after Claremont's. Yeah, I'll read that.
Yeah, Executioner's Song I really enjoyed, because that's like, even though I already kind of knew Cable, even though I knew who Cable like really was and I knew his origins and stuff, it was still really, really cool to read that, because I think that was kind of like the grand reveal about who Cable really was.
Is that not? Oh, that's X-Force?
Yeah, or I think it's. Hold on, let me look at the exact issues.
Is that not? I thought isn't that Bishop's first appearance too?
No, Bishop appeared before that, I think. Before Executioner's Song.
Okay. I haven't gotten there. I know everyone praises like 90s X-Men. Listen, Claremont walked and then ran so that 90s X-Men could be where it was. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, Bishop's first appearance is Uncanny X-Men 282 from 1991, and then the first issue of Executioner's Song is Uncanny X-Men 294.
Bobby is the biggest defender. 294. Yeah, that was after Claremont. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Bobby is the biggest Onslaught defender.
Oh, from the Onslaught Saga. I will
Yeah.
say one of the things I really liked that came out of the Onslaught Saga was the Thunderbolts, because I really
Was it-
enjoyed '90s Thunderbolts. Or
So this
I think
is
it's
there
90s
it
Thunderbolts.
is. 5 reasons Cypher. It's CBR. See, now it makes me not want to like Cypher because CBR is defending Cypher. no, but let's see what CBR says. 5 reasons he's underrated. 5 reasons he's not. Why? Hang on. You know what? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Artists must hate. Hold on. Here we go. All right. Cypher can interpret body language. That's cool. Yeah, that's another thing too. Your attack is useless. It is a dead language. Ooh. Useless. Couldn't use his powers to their fullest extent initially. Yeah, he dies because the readers were like kind of sick of him. So that's actually true. Can translate alien languages. Yeah, he can translate alien languages. He could translate. He could talk to computers. He could talk to aliens, and then Warlock is both. So he's able to talk to Warlock and get Warlock to join the team and stop his rampage. So
they brought him back.
And I tried because Cecil was giving me shit on stream for liking Cypher. This is how this whole thing started. Phil remembers. He was just making fun of me for like hours on end for liking fucking. I was like, he's cool. Useless, no counteraction against superpower. Yeah, well, that's not his thing. Underrated, an excellent hacker. Yep. Useless, has normal levels of strength. Look, that doesn't count. Of course he doesn't have. He has normal levels of strength because that's not his power. What the fuck? You could argue that with literally any superhero that doesn't have super strength.
Yeah, you could argue that with Angel.
You could argue that with Cyclops. You could argue that with Jean Grey. You could. What the fuck? That's not. Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, Cyclops also like works out in the danger room like.
So does Cypher. I think. Well, Cypher was a teenager when he got murked, but you know.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not denying Cyclops should probably beat him in an arm wrestling contest. By the way, there's a lot of anti-Cyclops propaganda that goes around, but you know, a lot of it's spread by the comics themselves. Admittedly, lately, you know, underrated, confused with Warlock. Yeah, they become Douglock. So I think that's actually what they call him. Yeah, see, look at that, because him and Warlock have a perfect sync because Cypher is the only one who could perfectly understand him. No one else can understand. Because you have to remember, Warlock is a being that shouldn't have empathy that does. And the only one who can understand him fully, really, not even his own kind, is Cypher. And so they kind of merge together and do cool shit. Mm-hmm. Useless can be mentally overwhelmed by his power. Oh, I haven't read this. I've only read the classic stuff.
Oh, wait. When it says mentally overwhelmed by his power, what's that? Oh, yeah, I've seen that image. That's from, is that Daredevil in there with him?
Daredevil?
Yeah, no, that's from like a recent, that's from the death of, what is it? After Wolverine's body went missing, they had Daredevil investigate it, right? And Daredevil like recruited Cypher to help him. But Cypher was like cracked out on the internet because he was trying to understand the internet because like his mutant. Yeah, it was dumb. It was really dumb, and it was useless because it didn't even. It ended up being freaking meaningless. So, I mean, the entire story ended up being meaningless because they ended up. What is it? It ended up being like, what is it? Somebody else found him with Persephone. Like Wolverine with Persephone.
Wait, you tell me that he would have a mental breakdown over the internet? That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, because it was basically like a drug for him because he was because of his mutant power. He was constantly trying to understand it.
That's so stupid. All right. Well, anyway, underrated. Can solve problems self-consciously. Yeah, there you go. This is it. This is first really full adventure with the team because he has that like. That issue right after this is the issue, the New Mutants Annual #1. Look at that beautiful Bob McLeod art, by the way. Right after he joins and merges with Warlock, or right after he joins and him and Warlock join together at the end of that issue, their first adventure together is this one, where he proves how useful he is.
Also, what's cracking, Jay? Great to see you.
Better as a support team member than an active one. Okay. I mean, you could argue that. Okay.
Oh, you know who? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in.
No, go ahead.
No, you know who Face is?
Face? No.
Yeah, so this was a kind of sort of recent thing. I think it was around the time Ethan Van Sciver was working on X-Men. Let me see. Face
Like Morrison's
X-Men.
run era.
Yeah. Let me check what number it is. So you remember Inferno, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a spoiler for Inferno. So all the mutant babies that they rescued in Inferno, yeah, the government didn't actually rescue them and give them to foster families like they promised.
Oh shit! This is a retcon?
No, or kind of, sort of. I mean, technically, it's. I mean, I guess it's a retcon
because they never said unless Claremont revealed it.
No, I don't know. Because I know
I never thought of that. I always just assumed they saved the babies. Yay! I never thought about what they did with the babies.
No, they got it. The babies got to go somewhere. No, and but the government lied, and they did not give the Inferno babies to foster families. Instead, they raised the Inferno babies in a military base located in Limbo. And Face was one of the Inferno babies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, first appearance first appearance is in New Mutants in 2010. New Mutants, she was at 16. I'll paste an image, but yeah, Face looks really fucking cool. So he's, like I said, he's one of the Inferno babies. He's one of the kids that was raised in Limbo.
What the hell? I'm finding.
Yeah, so his mutant power, so he can fire this extremely powerful energy beam out of his face. But the problem was when he first activated that power, it blew his entire face off. So he has to, so he has to use this like lens, and they have. Like when he first appears as one of the grown-up Inferno babies, they have him like on a leash, and he can't see or speak. I don't think.
I forget. He can't speak. I forget if they were specified to be mutants. Maybe they probably were, and I just forgot. Inferno was a great event, dude. That is great. Have you read it or no?
I read like chunks of it. I got to go back.
It's one of those ones where, to me at least, let's put it this way: the prelude. The previously on for if I'll pull up my copy of it, because it's very deeply rooted in like a bunch of different storylines coinciding in this big, it's a fairly simple event when you think about it in terms of like it's just mutants or it's just demons trying to invade Earth and merge, but then it's like gets complicated. This is just the background of them explaining what happens.
That was also kind of like Ilyana's super debut, right?
Yep, it was. Well, no, it wasn't her super debut. It was her transformation to Darkchild, which had been building up since her origin. So it was that. It was something that was building up since New Mutants. When did she join the New Mutants? Issue like 13 or something? Or no, that's Cypher's first appearance. So she joined the New Mutants in issue. Oh wait, I just have. She joined the New Mutants in issue. Where is it? Here. Issue 14. So. All right, so in issue 14. She joins. So that's basically, and you can also include her miniseries. So that's that, and then Inferno happens in New Mutants issue. It's starting with New Mutants issue 71. So that's like, so almost it's like 50 something issues of build up, right?
Yeah,
that's a fucking lot. Then you have the X-Men, something similar, where it was like you have to think Madeline Pryor was introduced in like 268, right? Inferno starts in 239, right? So it's like a lot of fucking buildup. Mr. Sinister was talked up for this point. Mr. Sinister, like at least as he's originally written, kind of like shows up or is mentioned once, doesn't appear until another 9 issues later, disappears again, shows up, retcons Cyclops' entire history, refuses to elaborate, or basically that's it. It's like he shows up, retcons or like a bunch of people's history, fuck shit up, leaves. It's really weird. It's like he shows up, he's like, Cyclops, I've manipulated your entire life. Madeline Pryor, you're a clone. Jean, I also kind of, and he didn't manipulate Jean as much, but he was like, I manipulated Scott Summers' entire life. I manipulated Madeline Pryor's entire life, and in fact created Madeline Pryor. She shows up out of nowhere, says this shit, and then he just kind of like does stuff too. Like I have no idea what the fuck his powers are because he just starts throwing shit out there. It's like he just throws a lightning bolt at one point. He just starts like doing these energy things, and I'm like, I asked my friend who's read more issues than me. I was like, "What are his powers?" And he was like, "Yes." So, okay.
Wait, the Sinister? You mean?
Yeah, Mr. Sinister. He just kind of does anything.
Yeah, no, it's because he's got he keeps taking DNA from different mutants.
He's such a cool fucking design, dude. His design is way cooler than Apocalypse's. I then hosted a poll on my Twitter, and almost everyone voted for it because who's a better X-Men villain, Apocalypse or Mr. Sinister. Everyone said Mr. Apocalypse, which I can understand. Maybe I just like Mr. Sinister better because I like his design better.
Apocalypse is a much heavier hitter than Sinister, so it makes sense.
To be actually,
you like Strife? Or no, you haven't made it to Strife yet.
Well, I did actually. They mentioned him in New Mutants 86, which is the first appearance of Cable.
Okay.
I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
New Mutants 87. No, which 87 is actually my next issue to read in my X-Men reading order. So I'm probably because they mentioned Strife and Cable in the same issue. So I assume that I'm going to be reading about Strife very soon. Probably the next issue I read is going to be about Strife, so I will let you know.
Sweet. Yeah. Yeah, Strife is one of my favorite X-Men villains, or X-Force villains, I guess. Yeah. But that's also because I'm a really big Cable fan. I started reading Cable right after the first Cable run I read was the one right after I think it's Messiah Complex. The one where Hope Summers first appears, because she's the first mutant baby born after M Day. So he takes it's the one where he takes that's the series where he takes Hope Summers into the future and raises her as like his stepdaughter.
Yeah, I need to do some indie reading. Like I need to read Private American stuff, but you've inspired me. I really got to get to because I want to kind of get to the end of Claremont's run. But my next issue literally is like all that stuff you're talking about. Like it's Liefeld, it's New Mutants 80. You know what 87 is, right?
87 is
that iconic Cable cover where it's
Oh yeah.
That's my next issue I'm reading.
Yeah.
Because I follow reading orders, so it's like the last couple issues I read were X Factor. Because it's weird, it kind of breaks up. Because the last issue I read I kind of read it because I'm reading across 5 series, so it kind of breaks up the the reading a bit. But right here you see this, this is my next issue. But yeah, I read the last issue I read ended with a cliffhanger. But because I follow a reading order, here I can kind of show you.
Yeah. I will say, I feel like it kind of took Rob Liefeld a moment to kind of get the hang of drawing Cable, because in the original Cable stuff, he like looks older, like he actually like looks kind of like an older guy. But then like the more Liefeld drew Cable, the more Cable looked more like, I don't know, like a sci-fi Expendables type character.
Yeah, he's not supposed to be old, right? Is he?
I mean, he is old. And he's also got the.
That's what I thought. Okay, I did think he was old, but then when he started saying that, I was getting confused. Okay,
yeah,
so I've read.
What's his actual age?
Like, let me show you this, right? So there was like if you there was like a 10 because I wasn't reading Alpha Flight, so it was like, you know, and I wasn't reading this, so it's like a 10-year span of a 10-issue span of X-Men. Then I read this, I read that earlier. This is the order I've been following. So then I read this. So it's been a while since I read, because like New Mutants 86 way back here ended on a cliffhanger with Cable coming, but then I had all of this to read. So it's kind of like I get that whiplash of like, here's this, back, this, stop, that, you know, it's kind of a weird thing. But yeah, New Mutants right here, boom. And then I'm back to X-Men. Oh, I'll get Cable and then Gambit. That's sick. Cable, then Gambit. Yeah, I'm probably gonna skip Quasar. Just 'cause I don't know why this. Oh, then Days. Oh shit! All right, Mike Barron. I'm gonna read your stuff quick, and then I gotta get back to this, dude. I gotta get back to X-Men.
Yeah.
Oh, look how close I am to the end of Claremont's run. I'm like pretty close. This is.
Eh?
I think this is it. This is the end right here. Claremont's run.
Oh dang!
And then, you know, I could read some of this stuff. I don't really. It's whatever. Weapon X should be in here somewhere. Yeah, that's what I've been following, and I got this one's a great one. They're underrated. They're cool painted art style.
Yeah.
I think I might call it a night. I've been up since like 8 something, so I think.
Yeah, no sweat, dude. Yeah, thank you for having me on long enough to promote my stuff.
No, of course, always a pleasure, Yeah. Maybe I'll be on again tomorrow. Probably will be, but we'll see. Depends. I might, be in the bar or something. We'll see.
Cool.
But, either way, guys, make sure to back Voyage. Make sure to back Star Riders. Make sure to share those links around. I'll tweet it again tomorrow. Yeah, Zach, he's lower, but here's the thing: there's enough people that have interest that just haven't backed yet. I think what he really needs is that push. He's at 20%.
Mm-hmm.
I think what he needs is that push to get to let's see, is he still at 21%? See what I mean? We can get there, guys. We just need a few bit by bit. I really think, especially once it hits that, like, say 50% mark or so, and once it crosses that line, I think people will start to back it more, because I think a lot of people are interested, but they're just like hesitant. So I think what they need is more people to really back it. So if you have any interest at all, just go ahead and back it. Worst case scenario, last couple days, if you're like, you could. But he's gonna make the book regardless. Like you can see, there's on my streams, you could see, like, I've talked to Zach on the phone earlier today. Like, he's making the book regardless. You're gonna get your book. So if you have any interest, make sure you back it. I think we can cross it. It's gonna be a lot of work, but I think we'll get there. I think we'll hit that funding goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So make sure you guys check that out. Did I link Star Riders yet? Star Riders is another one to back too. Star Riders, we got 136 backers, but we can back further too.
Yeah.
I will see you guys next time. Probably gonna read some comic books.
All right. Enjoy, my man.
I will. Let's play. Let's do the Voyage trailer as we close out.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up again. I literally just had it. Okay. And yeah.